I always loved exploring old buildings. I was fascinated by their history, their architecture, their secrets. I had a hobby of taking photos of them and posting them on my blog. I had a lot of followers who shared my passion. That's why I was thrilled when I found out about the old mansion on the hill. It was a huge Gothic-style house surrounded by a thick forest. It had been abandoned for years after a fire had destroyed most of it. It was rumored to be haunted, but I didn't care. I saw it as an adventure, a challenge, a treasure. I decided to go there one night, alone. I wanted to capture the eerie atmosphere of the place and maybe find some clues about its past. I packed my camera, my flashlight, and my courage. I arrived at the mansion around midnight. It was a dark and stormy night, perfect for a horror story. I parked my car near the gate and climbed over the fence. I walked through the overgrown garden and reached the front door. It was unlocked, so I pushed it open. I entered the mansion and felt a chill run down my spine. The place was a mess, full of dust, cobwebs, and debris. The walls were charred, the floors were cracked, the ceilings were collapsed. The air was stale and smelled of decay. I turned on my flashlight and started to explore. I went from room to room, taking photos of everything I saw. I found a grand staircase, a library, a ballroom, a kitchen, a dining room, a study, and many bedrooms. I also found a basement, an attic, and a secret passage. I was amazed by the size and the complexity of the mansion. It was like a maze, full of surprises and mysteries. I was having the time of my life until I heard a noise. It sounded like a door slamming shut. I froze and listened. I heard footsteps coming closer. I panicked and ran. I tried to find the way out, but I was lost. I turned left, right, up, down, but I couldn't find the exit. I felt like I was trapped, like I was being hunted. I heard the footsteps behind me, getting louder and faster. I heard a voice, a deep and raspy voice saying my name. I recognized the voice, and I felt a surge of fear. It was the voice of the owner of the mansion, the man who had died in the fire, the man who had killed his wife and children and then set the house on fire, the man who had haunted my dreams ever since I had read his story on the internet. He was the reason I had come to the mansion. I wanted to see his face, to hear his voice, to feel his presence. I wanted to know what had driven him to madness, what had made him a monster. I wanted to confront him, to challenge him, to provoke him. But I had underestimated him. He was not a ghost. He was a demon. He was not a victim. He was a predator. He was not a legend. He was a reality. He caught me and grabbed me by the hair. He pulled me close and whispered in my ear. He told me he had been waiting for me. He had been watching me. He had been following me. He told me he liked my photos. He liked my blog. He liked my curiosity. He told me he wanted to show me something. He wanted to teach me something. He wanted to give me something. He dragged me to the fireplace where the fire had started. He threw me to the ground and pinned me down. He took out a knife and smiled. He said he was going to make me his masterpiece, his trophy, his souvenir. He stabbed me over and over until I stopped screaming. He carved his name on my chest and took a photo of me. He posted it on my blog and wrote a caption. He said he had found a new friend. He had found a new lover. He had found a new victim. He said he had found me. We had always dreamed of owning our own hotel. We loved traveling and meeting new people, and we wanted to share our passion with others. We had saved enough money to buy a property, but we wanted something unique and special, something that would stand out from the rest. That's why we were so excited when we found the old asylum. It was a massive building located on the outskirts of town. It had been closed for decades after a scandal involving the mistreatment of patients. It was rumored to be haunted, but we didn't care. We saw it as an opportunity, a challenge, a bargain. We bought the place for a fraction of its value and hired a team of workers to renovate it. We had a vision of turning it into a hotel, a place where people could experience the thrill of staying in a haunted house. We thought it would be a hit, especially around Halloween. We planned to keep some of the original features, such as the iron bars, the padded cells, and the electroshock therapy room. We thought it would add to the charm and the horror. We also wanted to preserve some of the history, so we researched the stories of the former patients and staff. We learned about their lives, their illnesses, their treatments, their deaths. We thought it would make the place more authentic and interesting. But we soon realized that we had made a terrible mistake. The place was not just haunted, it was cursed. The tortured souls of the former patients were still trapped there, and they did not like our presence. They wanted us to leave, or worse, to join them. It started with small things. Strange noises, cold spots, flickering lights. We shrugged them off as normal occurrences in an old building. But then things got worse. Objects moved by themselves, doors slammed shut, windows shattered. We felt watched, followed, threatened. We tried to ignore it, to focus on our work. But the workers started to quit, one by one. They said they saw things, heard things, felt things. They said they were scared, and they had every right to be. Some of them even claimed to have been attacked, scratched, bitten, burned. We didn't believe them until we saw the marks on their bodies. We decided to stay in the place, to see for ourselves what was going on. We chose the most comfortable room, the one that used to be the director's office. It was spacious and elegant, with a fireplace, a sofa, and a large desk. We brought candles, blankets, and a radio. We tried to make it cozy and romantic, but we did not sleep that night. We heard screams, moans, laughter. We heard footsteps, chains, metal. We heard voices, whispers, threats. They came from everywhere, from the walls, the ceiling, the floor. They came from inside our heads. They told us their names, their stories, their pain. They told us what they had endured, what they had done, what they wanted. They told us to leave, to die, to join them. They told us we were not welcome, we were not wanted, we were not safe. We tried to escape, but it was too late. The doors were locked, the windows were barred, the phone was dead. We were trapped, just like the patients. We realized then that we had become their new playthings, their new victims. They came for us with a vengeance and a hunger. They came in shapes of shadows, of bones, of flesh. They came with claws, with teeth, with needles. They came to make us suffer, to make us pay, to make us join them. They came from the dark, from the cold, from the past. They came from the other side, from the beyond, from the abyss. They came from the asylum, from the hell, from the grave. We screamed, but no one heard us. We fought, but it was useless. We looked into their eyes and saw our own terror. We realized then that we had unleashed hell on earth, and we were the ones to blame. I had always wanted to visit the old mansion on the hill. It was a famous landmark in our town, known for its history and its mystery. It was built by a wealthy family in the 19th century, but they all died in a mysterious fire. The mansion was left abandoned and no one dared to enter it. I was curious and brave, so I decided to go there one night with my camera and my flashlight. I wanted to see what secrets the mansion hid and maybe take some photos of the ghosts. I thought it would be fun, exciting, and harmless. I was wrong. I climbed over the fence and walked up the hill. The mansion loomed over me, dark and silent. I felt a shiver, but I ignored it. I reached the front door and pushed it open. It creaked and I stepped inside. The mansion was huge and full of dust and cobwebs. The furniture was old and rotten. The paintings were faded and torn. The mirrors were cracked and dirty. The air was thick and heavy and smelled of death. I turned on my flashlight and started to explore. I went from room to room, looking for anything interesting or spooky. I found a library, a ballroom, a dining room, a kitchen, and many bedrooms. I also found a secret passage that led to a basement and an attic. I was amazed by the mansion and took many photos, but I soon realized that I was not alone. I heard noises that made me jump. I heard footsteps that made me run. I heard voices that made me scream. They were the voices of the family, the ones who had died in the fire. They were angry and they blamed me. They said I had disturbed their peace. I had invaded their home. I had violated their privacy. They said they wanted me to leave. They wanted me to suffer. They wanted me to die. They chased me, and I tried to escape, but I couldn't find the way out. The mansion was a labyrinth, full of traps and dead ends. The doors were locked, the windows were barred, the phone was dead. I was trapped, just like the family. They caught me and they tortured me. They scratched me, they bit me, they burned me. They showed me their wounds, their scars, their pain. They said they wanted me to feel what they felt. They wanted me to share their fate. They wanted me to join their family. They killed me, and they took my soul. They dragged me to the fireplace where the fire had started. They threw me into the flames and laughed. They said they had found a new member, they had found a new friend, they had found a new victim. They said they had found me,